Awesome. And we're recording Master Sifu, as you like to be called. I was watching. How did this name come about?
Well, I used to be called James, and
Yeah.
very interestingly, once I was walking down Shenton Way and somebody came up to me and he said, "Oh, I attended your finance course. It's so amazing. Yeah, I learned so much from it. It was totally life-changing." And I was feeling so great about the entire
Wow.
conversation. And at the end of the conversation, he said, "Oh, thank you once again. By the way, what's your name?"
Oh no. Yeah. Okay.
So he loved the course, but he forgot that my name was James.
Yeah.
So I said, wow, memorable course, but not very memorable name because there are many Jameses around. So
Right.
I thought, what could I do about it, right? And then I decided to kind of go back to my name and I look at my name and practically the answer was staring at me all my life because
Okay.
Leong is my family name and my short middle name is the letter C. And my last
Yes.
name is simply spelled Foo and pronounced as Fu. So
Master Fu.
when when I give that to people, people say Leong Sifu, and they never forget that.
Yeah. It's kind of like a brand name, right? Branding is so important in 2025. So for those that have tuned into this, I've just kind of launched this video series called Since Birth. I was in Dallas like 2 weeks ago. I met this really interesting artist. I'm not doing those interviews that I used to do like a year, 2 years ago, and even since I've left the radio. So I just wanted to do it on my own time. You invited me to your book launch. So again, for those that have tuned in, James Leong, or Master Sifu, as he just explained, is his new kind of brand name. Essentially, is an author. Used to be a chartered accountant. You're still a lecturer
Oh
at
yeah, yeah. So
NUS.
I'm an adjunct professor with NUS.
So you're a busy man and you have a book out. And from the sounds of it, you like to kind of simplify things so that people remember them easier and quicker, right? Which is why you have these characters in your new book, Once Upon a Balance Sheet. Talk to me about these characters in your book. Is this why you came up with them? Because you wanted people to remember financial concepts in a less complex way?
Absolutely. I think so what happened here is that I create what is called the financial storyverse inside the book.
Mm,
So the financial storyverse is where finance meets storytelling. So people are engaged by stories. We watch movies, we read books, we go to
mm.
Instagram, and we have Instagram stories. So I
Yeah,
think stories are a very good way for people to want to learn something because it makes learning engaging. So the financial storyverse is actually one of my favorite parts in the book. So I didn't just want to explain finance, I want to make it come alive. And the Financial Storyverse is a world that I designed to take readers on a quest on financial mastery. Now, think about it. Most books require you to read and read text on your
yeah,
own.
that's every book.
But exactly, and especially a finance book full of formulas and jargon. But I
Right.
bring you as a reader on a quest. It's an adventure, a learning
Oh,
adventure, and
wow.
you start off in the world of confusion. So the starting point where numbers don't make sense, everything feel disconnected. But as you journey through the financial storyverse, you meet different characters who will accompany you on your journey toward the world of illumination. So you
Yeah.
never learn alone. And the world of illumination is the place where numbers finally make sense. And you can lead with clarity, confidence, and impact. So there are a number of characters that I've created in this world, and each one of them have their own unique voice, personality, and distinctive superpower that can help you turn confusion into clarity. So let me do a quick introduction of them.
Sure.
The first character you probably read from my book synopsis I sent over to you, Count
Yeah.
Jargon, right? So
Yeah.
Count Jargon is a key character. He is a slayer of jargon. So his superpower, he turns jargon into joy, right? Think about that. How can jargon be joyful? But that's what he
Yeah.
does. He's he's adorable. He explains everything simply and clearly, helping you feel confident instead of
So what's
confused.
an example of like a jargon word that you would come across every day if you're teaching something to a student? Or I read also that you were basically like the head accountant for a Fortune 500 company, right?
Yeah, I was
After
the
you
regional
graduated.
finance head. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So what's a big piece of jargon or what's a jargon word that would come across your desk every day that you'd have to
No,
kind of
actually, all kinds of jargon, again, depending
mm,
on how exposed you are to it. So if you're exposed, it's probably not a jargon, but if it is not,
right.
then everything could potentially be a jargon. But I think one of the
Mm,
fundamental, most important thing that people or want to be aware of here is that, hey, I've got assets. So what are really assets, right? So
yeah.
we turn that into something very simple rather than some technical mumbo jumbo. Assets are simply something that you own, and it's something that can help you to generate future cash inflow.
Yeah. What would
Now,
the mumbo jumbo word be or that explanation be? Like
well,
you
the
just
technical definition is a resource that you own or you control, for example.
right, right.
Right.
Okay.
It's like,
Okay.
so what's that? What's a resource, for example, right? If you
Yeah,
think about
yeah.
that, be a legal right,
Right.
for example, it's like, so, but it's not tangible. But you think about something that generates cash flow for you, then I think it's a lot more tangible. Think about you buying a rental property. Why do you want to invest in a rental property? Because it's going to pay
Mm,
you rent. So it
yeah.
is cash flow that you didn't have
It's
before,
an
for
asset.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why do you want to
Mm,
buy and invest in shares, for example? Because you believe these shares could generate some dividends for you. Hey, so
yeah,
this is a
exactly.
cash generating asset. So it becomes intuitive, it's relatable. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody wants money, right? That's how you,
Yeah.
that's how
Exactly.
that should be the
More
name of
money
your
in the
next book.
pocket.
Everybody wants money. Okay, let's move on to the next character. So you have another character.
Yes, the next character is a very important character as well, and the name is Miss Numbers.
Yes, I
So
saw that. Yeah.
Miss Numbers is your buddy in learning, is your best pal through the financial storyverse. She's steady, patient, and always there for you, with you through thick and thin, right? So think about if you watch the movie Shrek, right? So Shrek has got a best
Yep.
friend, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So think of it, she's your sidekick in learning. Her superpower is that she turns numbers into narratives. So help you to see that every number tells you a story of choice, behavior, and consequence. Right? And
Mm,
when you understand that story, you can begin to shape the story of your own business through clearer choices and smarter decisions.
mm. Yeah, it's almost like saying if there's a minus in your bank account, things aren't looking good, right? Miss Numbers is not very happy.
And she tells you the story exactly how you got there
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's basically your balance sheet, right? Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
looking at your bank statement. Okay, there's more characters?
There's more characters. There's a
Mm.
Steph model. Steph is the intellectual one. Steph represents the framework that readers can learn in the book, a structured way to analyze financial statements, right? So
Yeah.
her superpower, turning complexity into clarity.
Mm.
And of course, uh, you can't miss having Master Sifu, right? He's the wise
Okay. Oh,
mentor.
it's you.
Yeah. So his
Wow.
superpower.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his superpower is that he turns figures into foresight. What is foresight? Foresight is not about predicting the future, not crystal balling, but really showing how today's decisions create tomorrow's impact. So everything that you do today has got a potential consequence in the future. And when
Yeah,
you could
absolutely.
see that in your mind through the story of the numbers, then you make smarter, wiser, sharper decisions.
Yeah.
And finally,
Don't put, oh, sorry, go on. Yeah.
yeah, okay. And finally, there's Huat, right? Huat is the enthusiastic one. He is the energy of the team. So
Yeah.
his superpower is that he turns perplexity into prosperity, reminding that learning finance can be both joyful and rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very hot about your book, and as you know, I enjoy having these kind of financial discussions. But more so, I'm more interested in like people and their personalities. Um, when you kind of conceptualize this book, and as you're talking it to me, did you ever think of it reaching a stage or a level in your life where it could be like maybe an interactive game, like that kids could play on like PlayStation maybe, or even sort of an amusement park where people like parents send their kids in, or even parents go in, or like millennials go in, and they try to do these exercises and then make wrong decisions or right decisions, which will lead them to different kind of outcomes or alternatives in the amusement park or in the game? How far does your ambition kind of go?
Now, that's a very, very interesting question. So Financial Storyverse is created to allow that to happen. So it's a very, very scalable model
Mm.
because it is a world, right? So there are different characters that I didn't have the opportunity to introduce in the book, but essentially they form an entire ecosystem where learning can take place, like you said, whether it's in a game, in multimedia, or in an app, for example, or as a game. And in fact, the book gives you a glimpse of that because at the end of every chapter, so because it's a quest, isn't it? So what is the quest without a challenge? So at the end
Yeah.
of every chapter, there are what I created count jargon challenges.
Mm.
So
Okay.
you take
So
part
you
in the
can learn
challenge.
basically. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
you take part in the challenge. When you clear the challenge, that's when then you move on to the next chapter, right? So, and every level brings you deeper and deeper into your learning. So a book
Yeah.
gives you a glimpse of that, but definitely it is created such that it allows for that to
Mm.
manifest on in different forms, different medium, and different platforms. Absolutely. Yep.
Fantastic. How did you
Yeah.
manifest this whole career? You know, this whole interview, as I explained to you, it's called Since Birth, and for our listeners as well, it's kind of a platform where I can get into the minds of people like you know, business owners, authors, lecturers, financial heads. I can imagine growing up, you might have had a multitude of interests, right? You might have wanted to do A, you wanted to go down path B. Who in your life kind of directed you down the path of finance and then maybe broke down the fears to get into this world?
The interesting thing is that so I've always been I was a science student, right? So all the
Okay.
way to my A levels, I studied science, pure science. And most of my friends who studied science will inevitably, when they go to university, they will go to engineering.
Hmm.
And guess what? When I got my A level results, I applied to go into engineering and I actually
Yeah.
got it, right? I got a seat in engineering,
Right.
got a place in there. And then I went national service and got 2.5 years to think about that. And I said, is that really what I want to do? Right? Be
Oh
an
no.
engineer. So
Okay.
I started to question and I asked my brother a very simple question. So I've got an elder brother and say, hey, what should I study if it's not engineering? And
Hmm.
there was no hesitation in his answer. His answer was be an accountant. And I said,
Right.
I've got no clue what an accountant does because I never
Right.
studied commerce. And I asked
Yeah.
him, so why? And he gave me a very simple answer. And the answer is because every company, every business needs an accountant, right?
Mm.
So there should be no difficulty in getting a job. Maybe didn't come from a well-to-do family. There were, nine of us, seven kids. Our parents live in a three-room HDB flat. So we grew up, money is tight. And of course, we want to find a job that is a professional qualification and help us to get there the fastest. And
Yeah.
so accounting was the answer, right? Because we could do
Yeah.
accounting degree in 3 years, as compared to an engineering degree in 4 years. So I think
Okay. Oh,
pragmatism
that's why you
took
said the
over.
fastest. God.
Yeah,
Okay.
so pragmatism took
Yeah.
over, and we start kind of like help our parents to pay the bills. So I think that's how I got it. So it wasn't some grand scheme of things that my parents taught me
Right.
through. But it was, I think, just really pragmatic survivalism, if you think about it, right? So,
Yeah. But
mm.
fast forward to now, you're an author. So it all worked out. You're teaching at NUS. Is this what you preach to your students? What if somebody says to you, I want to be accountant, but I'm scared? What would again, I'm trying to help you plug your book. So what would the first thing that you do would be? Would it be that you give them your book or you say go to uni?
No, I think going to the book, looking at the book is a very, very good first pass because now think about this. As I mentioned, when I got into accounting, I practically had no idea what accounting was all about because
Yeah.
there were no accountants in my family. I, in those days, it's really hard because I was the only one that was lucky enough to go into university. Why is that so? Because big family, I was the youngest
Mm,
child, so everyone else was already working, and they kind of start to pay the bills and afford university education. They couldn't have
right.
afforded it themselves.
Mm,
So I was blessed and fortunate in that sense. And but I have no clue whether this was the right thing for me at that point in time. No experience. I only knew physics, chemistry, for example. But I think
yeah.
having a book like this is, I would say, a low risk entry point to explore the world of numbers, right? To find out what numbers could really do. in the
Yeah,
real world, what the value that you create for you, and what you could take on as a career from there, whether it's in business, whether you become an accountant. So just because you study accounting doesn't lock you into a dead end profession that you
right.
must be an accountant for the rest of your life. So I started off, I was a big four auditor. Then I went into regional finance with Fortune 500 companies. And then I went into teaching with NUS. I do corporate training. Now I write the book. So think about the multiple pathways, and they all leverage on one core skill that I built up when I was young, and it served me through for the rest of my career, and
Wow.
including the business as well. So, highly valuable skill set, I would say. It's not just a professional skill, not just a business skill, but it's actually a life skill. You can teach that to your kids as well. Yeah.
Okay, so how much is the book?
The book retails for 29.90, right? At
Okay.
Kinokuniya plus GST.
Kinokuniya. You
Yeah.
can buy it in, is the Kinokuniya in Orchard still there? The one in Takashimaya?
Yes, it's still there. There is
Yeah.
the new one at Bugis as well. Yeah,
Okay.
it's so interesting. A good friend showed me a video on, on Reels, right? Facebook Reels,
Yeah.
and about somebody who launched the book recently as well, about the same
Okay.
time as me. So this guy was he had this video saying, come, and the video followed him all the way to where he picked up his book, and
Right.
he took him pick up his book and started reading it.
Oh, I see.
The last scene, there was my book, Once Upon a Balance Sheet, on the
Oh,
shelf
that's nice.
in his
Yeah.
video. It was like
That's
made my day.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a guy in Singapore, Eric Sim. Is he your friend? Do you know him by any chance? He also has a
I know
book.
of him. I know of him.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know of him. You guys are like author friends, I feel.
Yeah.
You should get in touch with him and invite him to your launch party, right? So you're clearly like over the moon about launching your book. How does that even happen? I'm so curious. And I guess for our listeners as well, they're starting on their careers, maybe they want to write a book. How long did it take you from, starting that book, conceptualizing it to actually putting it out? Did you have to find a publisher? This all seems like, very alien to me. But yeah, walk me through it just very quickly.
No, it's absolutely alien to me at the time because I've always been in teaching. So I teach and I run workshops. And I think let's talk about the why first. Why do I even want to write the book? And the
Hmm.
reason is this, because over the years of teaching and training, running workshops for corporate executives, I realized one thing uh, over and over again. People who come into my workshop, invariably, many of them tell me this thing, and that is, I could never seem to get finance. They could have studied accounting in school. They learned what's called POA, Principle of Accounts, and they didn't know what they were studying. And some even developed phobia of accounting as a result of that.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah,
Okay.
I kid you not, it's true.
Hmm.
And I said, I never want to touch accounting again. But they have no choice because now their work requires them to make decisions, right? Which involves
Hmm.
around numbers, managing budgets. So they come to my course. Some people pass their exams, but never really know how to use it in their real life. But I think it is a pity, it's sad because why accounting is so useful. It is a personal, financial, professional life skill. And unfortunately, a lot of people pass exams but underutilize it in real life. So I decided to do something about it. So I decided that, hey, I must write the book, right? So
Yeah.
that the book can reach more people than I could do in,
So you had a
training.
purpose. Yeah.
I've got a purpose. So it was a very noble purpose, don't you agree, right? So, that's
Hmm.
to help people. But I do not know anything about publishing. So what I did was that I go engage a publisher, right? So you got to pay this guy to, I write, you edit, you put it in the bookstores on Amazon and handle the entire project, get people to edit it, proofread, design the book, the whole work. So all I do is kind of just give my expertise and turn it into a manuscript.
Yeah.
Guess what happened? Uh, Midway through the project, he went bankrupt.
Oh, the publisher.
Publisher went
Right.
bankrupt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And all I was left with was just one PDF, right? One PDF, no original files. The
Hmm.
entire design was lost. And I was just stuck down there. And think about it. So it was a PDF and it was even like flattened. I cannot turn it into Word because it was like images instead of words.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I couldn't just convert it into words and do that. And this guy used a very specific font. I tried to go and look for a font, try to buy it on Google. I couldn't even find it. It's like it's so specific.
and here
And
you
so
were
I
with
had,
this mission. Yeah.
yeah, and I practically had to rebuild a lot of things from scratch. The layout, the manuscript, I could kind of fit it into whatever design that I already had, kind of retype, recraft, just to build the boat up bit by bit. And it was so painful because there was so much manual work involved. I can't just get a software to do that. I cannot even do, proofreading, do a alpha, for example, just do grammar check, for example, spelling check.
Yeah.
Everything is manual. And I did the whole works. I became the project team. I became the editor. I became the designer. I designed the book cover, right? So everything that you see on in here,
Done by you. Yeah. I
so
think you
done
got
by
to
me.
bring it to the screen a bit closer, but yeah.
Is right?
There you, oh, now it's blocking your face. Oh no. It's okay.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. No,
yeah,
you
here.
can't see it. There you go. There. Once upon
Yeah,
a
there you
balance
go.
sheet. Yeah.
Yeah, so done by me. And I actually, so eventually I looked for a printer. I went out to the office, understand what kind of materials, so color, black and white, gross match. What does it mean? I buy different copies, really under different lights, just to make sure that my user has the best user experience, right? Because some books are glaring, for example, some read in poor lighting conditions, for example. So I went to the level of detail, and then I brought it to a distributor and I asked him how much can I sell it for. So he said it depends on the quality of your book. So I gave it to him the first time, and he gave me a low range because he didn't like the materials that I used. So I went back,
Yeah.
and then I practically changed the material to his feedback into consideration. And eventually, I brought it back and said, "Okay, this is good to go. Happiness,
Oh,
right?"
wow.
And oh, that took a full 2 years, right,
Two
to kind of get
years.
everything sorted out. Yeah, because it was lots of rebuild. But
Yeah.
eventually, uh, I was really happy because what happened was that when it went on launch, I did a global release on 7th of November. Within 24 hours, became the number one hot release on Amazon in two categories, one of which is managerial accounting, the other is adult and continuing education. And at the same time, um, in this both of these two categories, it becomes the number two best-selling book.
That's incredible.
And
How many books have
yeah,
sold already?
well, I think it's really not about the numbers,
Okay.
it's about the depth of the relationship. Why is that so? Because I've got people who's really waiting for the book.
Yeah,
People
there's
have
a
been
wait list I
waiting to me
saw on your
over the years.
website. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been waiting up, they've been messaging me and say, James, when is the book coming out? So messages, you saw my LinkedIn post, and this guy said, yeah, finally I waited for more than a year. And he's the first guy that bought the ebook on Kindle, right? So I
Wow.
think it's really about the relationship that I've developed while going through all these struggles. They're not waiting for me. I didn't abandon my readers, my subscribers. I mean, I write to them every week. I share with them valuable information, and they're just kind of waiting. So right off the gate, they bought, right? So I think that makes a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful. So it's more than just happy. I think it is meaningful because there were so many times of doubts that I had
Mm,
these moments of doubts that the boat might never see the light of day because all the difficulties and challenges they have to go through to really see the boat through. But I think what kept me going was really by the time I completed the manuscript in 3 years, I've got a really, really senior, a really important people, senior people, leaders that has given me great testimonials at a point,
yeah.
right? I've got the chairman of the Changi Airport Group. I've got the CEO of Institute of Chartered Accountants, past president of Institute of Chartered Accountants. I've got chairperson of Singapore Charity Council. I've got, corporate finance lawyers, professors. Hey, these are the people that put their name in my book. I cannot go to them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't get the book. So it was every waking moment when I'm not doing teaching, client-facing work, weekends. They were just kind of like getting the book out, working
That's
through.
amazing.
Just work on the book. Every comma, every full stop. Every word needs to be
Wow.
clean up, and just making sure that it is a book worthy to be held in every readers
Anyone's
and every.
hands, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
incredible.
yeah, so
That's a
I'm really.
nice little slogan there. Every comma, every full stop, you know. All attributed to Master Sifu.
Yeah, thank you. So,
Yeah.
so I'm really happy that the book is out there doing what it's supposed to be doing, helping leaders to have clarity, confidence, and conviction in making decisions.
Yeah, that's incredible. I want to talk to you about the importance of kind of like a personal brand or a signature in 2025. I feel like if I was just graduating out of uni now, I might not be sure. Did you envision yourself kind of having a book when you started out, or you didn't know that you would be here?
Not really, not really. But I think
Yeah.
one of the key thing here is that I think being true to yourself is so important. Being true to yourself,
Mm,
as in, so that was the path I chose. So I want to be who
mm,
I am, and
mm,
I stay true to it. So whether it is in terms of my career choices, so I could do. So I am a doubly qualified chartered accountant, Singapore and Australia. So I work
mm,
with a big four audit firm, accounting firm. I work with regional. I was the regional finance head of the Fortune 500 company. And now, but here's the key thing. I find that I'm happiest when I teach. I'm totally joyful because I find that sharing knowledge, helping to somebody to grow and develop themselves, just bring me boundless joy. And I've been doing this for more than 20 years. And every day when I show up to teach a class, I'm still just as happy and excited as the first day. So I
mm.
believe I found my calling, right? So this is something I'm totally passionate about. And but it takes courage to leave a corporate world
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
to pursue your passion, because it's not easy to do that, especially in Singapore. We have high cost of living. I've got a family. I've got three kids to feed. But I think
Yeah.
having to commit to that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of conviction that this is the right thing to do, and a lot of, I would say, really, energy to make it happen. And I
Mm.
think it's the passion that makes it happen. So today, I think that in those days, this word wasn't popular yet, but today there's a nice word for it. It's called find your ikigai.
Yeah, you're icky guy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And I
Yeah.
believe, humbly, that I have found mine, right? Many, many years ago. And so today, I thoroughly enjoy what I do. And
Mm.
writing a book is simply an extension of being able to share more of what I love and being able to, uh, I would say, amplify the impact of the work that's already impacted a lot of people positively. So that's what I hope to
Yeah.
be able to achieve in the book. And thank you so much for doing this, reaching out and say, hey, James, let's do an
Yeah.
interview. Let's share that with the world. And I really thank you for that, because I think that can really help to spread the message.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can post this on LinkedIn, let everybody find out more about it. Once Upon a Balance Sheet, it's out now, it's out on Amazon. Is you're having a party? This is not public knowledge, I'm guessing. The whole world doesn't need to know about it. But you are having a book launch party. I will be there. Congratulate you in person. Yeah, congratulations, man. You found your ikigai. And thanks for joining me on this. I just wanted to create my own kind of podcast series where everybody I interact with is on my time, my personality more so than everything. And then I create a community of thought leaders and individuals who have found their ikigai and want to share that with the world. So thank you, man. But yeah, it takes two hands to clap, dude. Cheers. See you soon and congratulations.
Thank
Master
you, Roshan.
Sifu.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.